Welcome back to another Advanced Wars by Web replay review. This is a intense viewer-submitted game on the map Looming Threat, but before we get started, I have a mini announcement to make. I am going to be doing my very first Advanced Wars by Web live stream on Saturday, January 17th, and at a time to be determined, but probably will start at noon Eastern, U.S. Eastern Standard Time. But I know some of my viewers are on the other side of the pond, and I don't want to make it an awkward time. So if a time works better for people, you can just pop that in the comments. And I put a poll up on the channel about what kind of content people would like, and the majority of people voted for Live League. We got 64% for Live League, and then 20-something% for replay reviews with viewers, and 11% for other. But I was thinking for the first stream, as much as I try to be a big fan of democracy and be a man of the people, I was thinking it might be a little too much to try to do Live League for my very first Advanced Wars by Web live stream. Simply because I don't know if there's going to be any technical issues or sound issues or anything like that, and it might just be a lot to manage the game and manage, because I don't have a team of mods or anything. I'm not saying all these other YouTubers do, but the big live streamers do. But it might be a hard to manage Live League and manage the stream and all this just for the very first stream. So I will definitely do a Live League stream in the future, but for my very first stream, I think I'm going to stick with replay reviews with viewers, and I definitely am very excited for that. So if you would like to be a part of the live stream, how I think I'm going to do it is this. I'll be streaming for 3 hours, and it'll be made of 4 45-minute time blocks. So go through 4 replays in those 45 minutes. Just get through as much of the replays as possible and close to that 45-minute time block as possible to respect everyone's time. So if you want to be on the live stream, I'm going to put a Google form in the description where you can sign up for the time blocks that are available. You can submit a replay, and then you can put in the text what you want to look at or whatever. It can be a replay you want to look at to get better. It can be a replay that if you're a better player than me, which is probably most of you, you can have do an educational replay. For me, it can be a fun replay that we can go over together. It's whatever, right? Totally up to you. And I will pick my favorite replays for each time block, and then during the time block, you and I will hop on a Discord call and we'll review the replay together on the live stream. That'll be really cool. So yeah, that's exciting. I'm really excited. Get to do some live replay reviews with people, and I can't wait. Gonna be very exciting, and I'm getting hyped up for it right now. Can't stop fiddling with my watch. That's how excited I am. So if you have any questions or comments or suggestions on the format, please pop them in the comments or DM me on Discord or something, or Advanced Wars by Web. I'm happy to answer any questions or change this format if you guys think there's a better way to do this. I've never done this before, and that's why I want to do something a little more chill and relaxed. My first live stream, I've done live streams of announcing my friends' Rocket League matches, but of course this is way different. So that's why I want to do something more chill instead of Live League, and then I'll do a Live League stream in the future after if this first live stream all goes well and everything like that. I just feel like it'd be a lot to manage for my very first live stream. So I hope you understand. But hey, get to do some replay reviews together, and that will be so much fun. So yeah, but speaking of viewer replay reviews, we got this viewer submitted replay here on the map Looming Threat. That's right, this is becoming one of my favorite mixed-based maps because I feel like anything can happen on this map. You've got over here on the left, you got blue base and airport, on the corners, and then in the middle you have this double base for red, obviously flipped on the right side. And you had these artilleries locking down the airport and this pre-captured city for the other side. And Both of these are very juicy, valuable real estate that both players want to get. So how to deal with this artillery? Well, we're going to see how the players do it and talk about that. Speaking of the players, we've got Baptain, who is rated 879 in Global League, and we've got Zadius, probably Zadius, in the blue, who is rated 796. So on the lower end, but that means that doesn't mean it's not going to be a good game. And there's a lot we can learn from this game. And the submitter, who is Baptain, wanted me to talk about the opening and talk about how to play the map a little bit. And I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm some Advanced Wars expert, right? You know, my only credentials is co-commentating APC2, where I was like wrong about half the things I said. But hey, you know what? That's okay. But I'm going to do my best. And I've played on this map quite a few times, so I know a little about it and I talk about some various aspects of it. But if I say anything wrong, do not hesitate to comment. Just say like, hey, I disagree with this, and we can all, learn from that valuable discussion. Okay, both players have picked coal, so we got some coal for Christmas here. Always a threat there, as that my parents would say, like, you're gonna get a lump of coal for Christmas. And we've got 2 lumps of coal. Coal gives all units, even air units, gain 10% attack power on roads. So you got these 2 interstate highways right here that coal gets 10% attack power as long as coal's on those, but it's 0% defense tile, so kind of like got the grim trade-off right there where you're not getting that extra defense. And also something that the Advanced Wars or not the Advanced Wars by Web, but the Advanced Wars developers did not give Koal this attack bonus on bridges. So Koal would get attack bonus here, but not here, even though it's a very similar terrain tile. But just another reason I'm not a big Koal fan, to be honest. I don't know if Adder is tier 4 in this map. Adder might be tier 3, but Koal also is a popular tier 4 pick when Adder's banned because of Koal's cheap powers. Forced March is only 3 power bars, and the Super Trail of Woe is only 5, making Koal have some of the cheapest powers in the game. Forced March increases all of Koal's units' movement by 1 square, as well as increases the road bonus, and Trail of Woe increases the road bonus and increases movement by 2. Now, Adder likes to pop his normal power side slip and get that +1 movement over and over, but because Koal's normal power is more expensive, Koal actually wants to pop the super power more. You can still do good with the power, but generally Koal likes to use that super power. But let's get right into this amazing action. And we've got Baptain in the red capturing the bases, which he has to do to mitigate the player 1 advantage. And we've got Zadius in the blue penguins capturing some bases, capturing some cities, and we'll see how both players navigate this pre-deployed artillery right here and navigate the opening. So far, pretty normal. Okay, so there's this going for these cities right here. Not sure if this is... So what I would do is you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you can send this infantry right here this turn and then build an artillery. And then the artillery goes here, and then both infantries capture these 2 at the same time. And then that way, this artillery is spoiled for choice of targets. Does it hit the artillery? Does it hit one of these capturing infantry? It's better to hit one of the capturing infantry, but a lot of players will just shoot the artillery. But this, in an ideal world for both players, the artillery hits one of these 2 infantry, and then the artillery smacks this artillery back. So that's how I've seen, and that's how I personally go about countering this artillery. If you're Sammy, and you're not playing against Von Bolt or Hawk, you can actually get these for free and not worry about this artillery, because the artillery can't knock Sammy's infantry down to 3 unless it has that 10% extra attack from being Von Bolt or Hawk. So interesting there. Okay, so here's the artillery. So if we went, if this infantry was right here, this artillery build would be perfect. Artillery goes here, and then the 2 infantry start the caps. and then this thing kind of gets overwhelmed. But when you're doing that early, you do lose some tempo up here, but I don't really think that's as big of a deal as like getting these two. I'm not entirely sure which is 100% optimal, but okay, good job by blue, going for those convenient cities right there within base range, and red over here doing the same thing. Okay, so this guy went down here. Instead of capturing this guy went down here to defend this. That's fair. I normally just go for this, and this guy could also be going for this, but might be going for a denial here, get an interrupt. I normally would just go for this and just get that income as quickly as possible, but because I don't know, me personally, I just am not really good at like deviating like this because I'm not good enough at the game to know what's good. But I don't think this is bad if you can long term hold this. The problem is this is really hard to long term hold. So we'll see if red can pull that off. We have a tank coming out of the middle. I see that a lot. But back to red, and we have no artillery or anything up here from blue, and these penguins are going to try and maybe just double cap and have the artillery hit one and not the other. So we'll see how blue deals with that. Okay, there's the interrupt right there. Got that mountain terrain advantage too. 8-6, always solid. Okay, now starts this, and this guy drops back to fight this. So this denial is pretty good. The problem is the opportunity cost. When you're going for this fight right here, you're not getting this city, you're not getting this city, and you're getting this city one turn later, and that's just income that you're not getting. So you have to think, is it worth the opportunity cost of giving up these cities to interrupt this? Now, if you can deny this long term, get an artillery or something, lock it down, it might be worth it to deny this from blue long term because you'll get these eventually. But that is something to note. So this guy will probably go back and get this, and then probably some more fighting. So we'll see how this shakes out over here on the left. My one problem is like I don't have that super long-term vision. You know, I can do it in Grim versus Grim because everything's just gonna die in one hit, but I can't like look at, okay, is this gonna you know, there's this attack coming in, how much damage is this all gonna do without move planning. Okay, so one thing you can do is go into the move planner and like calculate this fight. So like you move this guy up here, you bust out the damage calculator, you see how much it's gonna do, and then you like play your turn and stuff like that. And you just see like how this fight's gonna turn out. And if you like the resulting position, then go for it. Okay, so this artillery moves over here to try and bust open the pipe seam, and I don't personally don't like this play. I don't think you need to bust open this pipe seam at all. I like the artillery here, infantry capturing here at the same time, and then that usually does the trick. You're gonna have to take down this artillery if you want this comm tower at some point, but you can easily do it with a copter. Copter, it can be built out of here, and then it takes down that artillery down to like 3 HP or something after the first shot. So this infantry now is going to probably go after this, and then this infantry gonna get one of these solid. However, this tank can go here and deny these. So that is the one bad thing about this aggressive infantry, is this tank can come, goes here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it can deny all of these without a red tank to counter it. So we'll see. Okay, so now blue goes in, going to take that infantry all the way down to 2 with these two. Now this is technically within base range, but on that 4-star mountain, this infantry is going to be a little hard to dislodge, and this infantry is going to back up this guy as well. And okay, so blue is going for a different strategy here with the artillery, and that is capturing both of these. And in my opinion, and one is going to go through right, because this artillery can only shoot at one thing. In my opinion, this artillery should shoot at the airport guy, because even though this is basically a 2k income flip, if you allow the airport, then the airport can just build a copter and then hit the artillery, whereas and then the city falls anyway. Whereas if you deny this airport for as long as possible, and that's going to be really inconvenient for blue. So we'll see what red goes for. And okay, so now the tank comes down over here. It's now covering all of these cities actually. So red is going to have a hard time securing any of these without some sort of tank backup. But a tank goes 1, 2. Yeah, a tank just gets built here next turn, so you really can't cover anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, unfortunately, red could not capture any of these right now without just getting blasted by the tank. And we'll see what happens. Okay, going after the pipe team, it's down to 55. Going for that. That's solid. Blue is not contesting red at all for this city, so this went through. But blue also got all these cities a lot quicker. Blue's also going to get this next turn. Probably going to get that as well. And might even be able to make a play on this one. But I think red can deny that. And that infantry gets taken out, and that infantry gets knocked down to 5. So red is actually doing pretty. This is turning okay for red, but there's the tank right here, which can hit one of these infantry and like shift the tide of battle for blue. So we'll see. Okay, interrupts the airport. Good call. I agree with that. And we have a mech. So now the mech, it looks like red is just going to commit to this fight down here. The mech is going to go down here and counter the tank. And we'll see what happens. Now, the copter could be dangerous, but blue only has 12k. And there's a mech right here. Okay, so I think this mech is to counter this tank right here. How much money did red have? 7k, 10k. I don't think you need a tank up here. You go infantry here, tank down here. And I think that's good. Also, tank here is solid because you want the tank in the middle is nice and flexible. It can counter this tank as well as shift to either side. I think a mech right down here though is a little too slow. And then the other thing is it's really not going to make too big of a difference. But since red is stretching for this city and this city, red's not going to get these as early. That's why blue's got that income lead right now. So getting the income a little bit later does hurt the openers a little bit. Join capping right here as well. So just going to keep join capping, and red can like basically just keep shelling this infantry on the airport, and it'll take a couple more turns and a couple more join caps, which will reduce blue's infantry count. Okay, I should probably complete the thought over here because I don't think I did that. When you're like me personally, I like what blue did, which is going after the airport immediately and then going for this. However, I think this guy forgot to move off the airport last turn. I don't think blue got that airport last turn. But you are getting this city, which is a bit of a stretch. Blue can go here and deny it, but not sure if that's what's going to happen. Blue might just start this. Red could also get that comm tower early. But by getting these two early, number one, you can build copters if you need, and you get that extra income. But I think these two will get it. And I'm not sure. This might actually be pretty good because blue's not contesting this. But perhaps if this tank that went down here goes up here, well, now red would be able to get this one, but that's red's anyway. And the tank would be able to scare these infantry off the contested cities. So red is being and even here, being very aggressive on some of these contested cities. But you got to be careful because like a tank, for example, will disrupt it, as we've seen down here. Now, by doing this in 3 different areas of the map, there's only one tank, so that's not really a big deal, but just something to keep in mind. I don't 100% know which is like the best thing to do ever. Okay, there's a shot right there on the infantry. Takes that 2 out. Goes for the cap instead of going for the 6. Fair enough, I suppose. But now the 6 can hit the 5 and take it down to like 1 HP. And blue is going to make a play on either the city or the comm tower. And the mech is too far away to do anything about this tank. And there's another tank, so the tank is now protecting this. This city will probably go to red, but what blue can do is after this infantry goes to capture, this infantry can interrupt his own capture, go on the woods, hit the infantry on the city, and then this infantry starts capturing, and then the tank moves up, and now this infantry is just kind of stranded. But we'll see. Red is down 3 cities. Oh, actually skips for the comm tower to get this one with this guy. So I think this was a smart move. You're not getting this, as we said, because that play with the interrupt. So get that calm tower, get this city. You might as well do something with these two infantry, right? You don't want to just retreat them all the way back so they do nothing. So good use there, and then getting those. Okay, that's good. Hitting the pipe seam. Pipe seam's down to 11 HP. Okay, going really aggressive for this city. It does give up a shot, but with the terrain advantage, I think... Well, actually, blue can chain more infantry here. And red could go up here. I don't know. We'll see how this shakes out. Oh, because this guy's going to join cap here, which means this guy can take a shot. This guy can chain. And I don't think red's chain is close enough. This guy can go here, and then 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's not close enough. Okay, this guy's gonna make a play for this city, and this 8 HP is gonna start this. However, red is that could get denied very easily. Yeah, blue can interrupt their own capture right here to take out the 5, and then tank goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hits this. And that's not going to be a one-shot, but it is far enough away from the mech. It interrupts it, but this will fall to red eventually. I mean, you could just build another tank here and start the cap. So I think blue is just better off using the tank to pop the 5, grabbing this city, and just trying to move on. But blue's infantry numbers definitely lower here, thanks to that little push by red. So red is doing... better in this corner than blue is over here, but it might still all even out in the end. And yep, there's the shot right here. There's the infantry chain. This infantry is not close enough to trade it, so good job by blue right there. There's a join cap there, so this airport's down to 2, so it will fall next turn, but by forcing all those join caps, then the blue has less infantry up here, or fewer, excuse me. Grammar police myself. So artillery's going to hit that, probably down to 4, and then the airport will get captured. Starting the comm tower as well. So blue is doing pretty good at the opening, up 6 cities right now. Just because red was late getting these two, and blue got this, and red didn't get the equivalent on their side. So blue is doing great on the capture game, but once this gets captured, and these two get captured, and it'll get a little more evened out. But blue is going to have like more income early. A 6k income swing for like 2 turns could be huge. Gonna capture all those buildings, so now red's only down 3. There's the shot on the airport. They're going for this. This guy's going for the comm tower. Goes for a shot. 4-4. This guy is going to get traded off by this guy, though. No problem. Artillery breaks down the pipe seam, and that allows this tank to hit. Knocks the artillery down to 2 HP, and now the city gets started. Maybe starting the air... Wait, could this infantry have reached the airport? Okay. I'm not sure if starting the city or the airport is objectively better, but I think if this tank gets a little feisty and goes down here and you start the airport, then you could start building copters, and then blue's like super overextended. But even then, we'll see if blue comes in for an attack, and that might be an overextension in and of itself. But oh, can hit the artillery, and then this tank can chain. But yeah, that's just way too overextended. Starts this. And we'll see what blue does. So probably going to trade this guy out. Could use the 4 to sacrifice itself to stall at the comm tower for a turn. This tank can go down here and try to... Ooh, actually this tank too. So tank can go here. Tank can hit the artillery. This tank can go maybe sit on the lab or something. So we'll see if blue makes an attack down here. But that is an overextension. So you don't want to keep fighting there long term, and blue could easily lose 3 tanks right there, so you got to be careful. Artillery interrupts that, starts the comm tower. Okay, there's that comm tower cap. Yep, sacrifices itself for damage, and now the tanks go in. Okay, so knocks the artillery down to 2 with that 10% extra road bonus. Okay, that tank, the farthest it could go is right there, so that's where it goes, and hits that. Knocks it down to 3. So these two are going to get denied, although this infantry could go start capping this as the tank and mech shoot. And then another tank can come in. So blue is not going to come out of this ahead value-wise because blue just cannot keep fighting right here. And red's going to get a nice shot on at least 2 of the tanks, one with the mech, one with the tank. So there it is. There's that 4 HP infantry getting taken out. Red's still at 4 cities. Going in on those two. So because red like kind of greeted for these, but because that tank denied it, and then red retreated, now blue basically has unfettered access to this right side, so blue will be up a lot in income. And blue's also winning this area too. So not going for this city just yet, as red has too much infantry right there. So that's fair. Alright, back to red. The artillery finishes off the guy in the airport. And this tank, oh, is it built from here last turn? Okay, it's going over here to counter this tank. I see. Okay. But let's see how red deals with this. Going to start the airport. Going to get a nice city shot with the tank. 4-9, so always solid. Now the artillery is going to try and cover it as best as it can. And mech goes for a shot. Now this tank is totally trapped in here. So this tank could sacrifice itself for damage, go for an interrupt or something. But it's totally trapped. So nice surround by red there. And there's really no way for blue to free this. So great tactics there by red. Maybe another tank will come out as well, or another mech perhaps. Goes in for this shot, 7-6. So turns out good for red. Could have easily been a different role, though, I think, with the extra defense from the mountain. And both players have one comm tower, but blue is about to get their set. Actually, both players are about to get these comm towers. This guy can interrupt, but I don't know if he will. Maybe he might just go for a capture. Okay, does go for the interrupt. And there's no infantry covering, so great shot there by blue. And yep, comm tower secured. Great move. Okay, starting this. This is not going to go through because the mechs are all covering. And if I were blue, I would just be like, okay, this city is not going to happen. I'm going to maybe go for these in the middle. And then not having this is not going to be a big deal if you've won the left side and the right side in that contested area. All right, so taking some shots over here. Blue now has power online, and the tanks actually stay in, so knocks this tank down to 2. The artillery, I think, also took a shot at it. But these tanks are about to get cleared out, and red's about to be up in value and unit count, too. Red's already up 3 units, but blue hasn't built yet, and we have a medium tank. Okay, so it looks like the medium tank is to counter this tank right here, but I think this is a bit of an overbuy. I think a copter does the exact same thing. An anti-air build would spawn too far, and this tank's got to be really wary about that copter. Plus, this small tank is faster than this medium tank. It can just run away. But I think what this trying to do is you have this tank right here, and the medium tank is trying to like sandwich this tank. But you got to be careful because the medium tank is still vulnerable to this artillery right here, and a copter isn't. So I think copter here, you save a ton of money. And then this tank really has some bad prospects. It can go over here towards the base, and then anti-air comes out to defend it, but it really can't keep fighting while there's a copter right here and no anti-air. But going on the road here to take the shot, get that extra 10% attack. The problem is this artillery is not covering this tank at all. That is a free shot for red, and then this tank can come over here and kind of sandwich this. And this medium tank is just a little too far for right now. So I think copter there is the play. Nice shot there. Red's got the city, so I think taking this shot for blue if that city was already captured, just not worth it because red can keep repairing and will always win that even though blue's got the better terrain. That 1 HP tank gets taken out. The artillery gets taken out. Yeah, now these tanks are in shambles, so they probably just have to go back or maybe pop some of these lower units. But blue, is still at 4 cities. And has won this area. Will probably win this area too. So trade-offs, goes for an interrupt there. Good shot. The mech didn't go for it. but the mechs can just reinforce in case another tank tries to come out. And red is being very aggressive over here, actually starting this city right in blue's face. And the medium tank can go, obviously, take out this infantry, but then the artillery is right there. This is a very bold strategy. Gets a 8-4 shot from the silo. Good shot there by red. Great tactics. And blue, so blue is doing a great job macro-wise, but not micro-wise. And red plays more like me, where it's the opposite. Finding these good tactics, but maybe the macro is not the most optimal. And yeah, we got a tank chain too, so blue's in some trouble up here. Got to protect this artillery, and this tank's already really low, and this medium tank's too far to really do anything. So now we'll see what blue does. Okay, Trail of Woe now activated. And that superpower already coming online in day 9. That's how cheap Koal's powers are. We're using the extra movement to retreat the tanks. And, ooh, a Weasel Cap right here. And moving this infantry down to put some pressure on the base. However, this is not going to work. This is a massive overextension. You got way too many units over here from red. And it's inside mech range, too. So this is just going to result in a lot of red's units or blue's units getting destroyed. These two healthy tanks go in, take some shots. Not a lot of healthy tanks for red to strike back with, but it is well within base range. Could just build a tank right here and be okay. Mech goes to interrupt this, or the 3 sacrifices for damage. Oops. Something like that. Artillery shoots, tank shoots, knock these all the way down. But we'll see. Takes out the guy in the comm tower, starts this cap, so blue's winning the side, and uses the 4 HP tank to interrupt, knocking that infantry down to 7. Medium tank safely out of artillery range. Going to go here to occupy it, so red cannot easily just take this city, so smart move there by blue. Goes for this shot. Okay, that is from a road, so with that extra Trail of Woe attack, it's a good shot at 5-7. Takes out an infantry on the mountain right there, continues the cap, and does some nice protecting. But I think these infantry are all gonna die. The city will get flipped next turn unless this infantry gets shot. But I still think red can get through. But we'll see. Oh, another medium tank. Blue just loves the medium tank. Blue is clearly an avid watcher or semi-original guy who calls the medium tank the classiest unit in Advanced Wars by Web, and just is really in love with it. Now, a medium tank here is not a bad build because this middle area, you can go to either side. However, I'm still a big copter fan. We got 0 air units in this game. It's like it's Caustic Finale over here. A copter over here, still pretty strong. And instead of this medium tank here, if this was a copter, it could safely shoot this without having to commit this tank to this artillery. It could also shoot the artillery as well, which makes the tank and medium tank a lot. Well, medium tank wouldn't be built because there's a copter, but it'd be a lot safer. But blue is trying to, since blue's got the income lead, blue is trying to tech up and use the income lead to their advantage. I just think using that, you can use that income lead to buy air units. And that copter last turn, instead of the medium tank, it's the same price as a copter tank. So you could have just built a copter over here, tank elsewhere, and had extra vehicle reinforcements maybe down here. But we will see. Okay, now red activates their super. There goes the 3 HP tank right there. And now is going to punch a hole into the in here and hit this artillery medium tank. We'll be able to trade one of those tanks out, though, with that city shot. Oh, but actually not getting the city shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, the great positioning here from red. Without the extra movement, this medium tank cannot get to this square right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that would be 5, 6. This is 5, so blue has to clear this city in order for the medium tank to trade out a tank right there. And blue's units are just kind of getting stranded as that infantry is knocked down to 1 HP. Now, artillery shoots, knocking that tank down to 8 HP, using that road bonus to get as much damage as possible to these tanks right here. Mech with that extra movement, clang down to 1 HP, and using the infantry extra movement to take shots at these infantry. Nicely done by red. Very good. Starts this city as well with the extra movement and is going to shoot some of these infantry. So much movement. bang, goes down. Now the mech comes in, clears the city, and yeah, blue made a play for this, but unfortunately, it just was not a strong enough wall with that extra movement, and red even takes a shot here and takes out this guy, and blue's infantry numbers just not looking good enough. This city will go through, but red will be able to now win this area. So blue was doing great, but through some buys and committing to a bit some losing fights, overextending, now red has turned the tide around. Red's still down 4 cities, but a lot of pressure, and there we go. There's an air unit. There's a battle copter. Let's go. So now these tanks just basically have to retreat, or like maybe sacrifice to take out this 1 HP mech or something. But even then, that's not worth it. I think blue just has to retreat. And then also maybe blue could have made a play on the lab, but it's 0% worth it unless you can also make a play on this lab, which blue could not do. So blue is in a little bit of shambles here, unfortunately for them. But that city does go through. These tanks all retreat, and the tank sacrifices itself to take out the artillery. Can't take out the mech. Not a good roll right there. Infantry goes in on this mech. At least blue's held this city, I guess, but is it really worth it when your army is disappearing? Red is up 5 units, 29 to 24. And takes a shot here, starts this. This is 0% going through, and this should not be getting started. These infantry could go up here and help, maybe pincer strike these, but this infantry is going to just go right on the mountain, take that out. It's not going to be any issue whatsoever. And there's the medium tank, hits the guy in the city because that's its only valid target. And red is doing a great job of pressuring blue, and blue will just try and like take some of these units down before all these like just weaken these, but it's just not going to work. All of this is going to disappear next turn probably. 7 HP mech can hit that, and then copter can go hit the 4 HP tank. Infantry can hit these infantry. Let's see what happens as that city gets flipped. Now red is only down 3 cities. Artillery, I think, shot an infantry or something up here. Oh, okay, yeah, one shot that. So good shot there. The infantry clearing this city last turn did leave it exposed to the artillery. And bang, takes out the 2 1 HP tanks. And now the copter takes a 4 HP tank. Yeah, all these units are disappearing. This is not going to get flipped. It's still got 10 capture points left. Red is big chilling. Weakens this infantry, takes out this one, starts this cap with an 8 HP, and red is now absolutely cruising. Shooting some more infantry. Yeah, red is rolling as more infantry go down and doesn't commit anymore, cannot get through this medium tank. So wise retreat there from red. As we have a double tank here from blue, and red's still down 3 cities, but gonna get this, which is, hey, red's won that. They earned that one. I'm going to get this city in a couple turns. And these 2 infantry retreat as the medium tank was exerting too much pressure on this side. But red had enough for a Neo. So we might see a counter Neo come out here, which would not be a bad buy. Okay, copter, air unit. I gotta appreciate the air unit. A Neo here would be super strong. But I think this double artillery copter is still a very good buy as well. Because the artillery can cover each other and also counter that medium tank. This 5 HP retreat gets picked off. Artillery hits that. This medium tank's still fearless, as these small tanks can't really pose a threat to it, even though it is adjacent to a road and will be taking a little more damage. This medium tank, also fearless, just goes down to try to exert pressure on this middle area. And these weakened infantry try to trade out as many weakened infantry as possible. Does get one there. But red is still doing great. Still 29 to 24 units down in value by about 3k, but that's not going to be anything. Now red's starting this comm tower, about to get a 3-1 comm tower lead. Mech goes in, and infantry could not get the roll, but this infantry does. Takes it out. Not even with that extra road damage can the infantry get the roll. Takes that 9 HP infantry out, and this healthy infantry goes down here to try to get this city. Copter goes in as well, just cleaning up blue's infantry right here. And blue has now no presence. Has these cities which have been generating income, but doesn't have an army to really hold them. So red will probably make a play for those cities. After this one gets flipped, this comm tower gets flipped, blue is in some trouble. Infantries all get shot, and these artillery now boldly covering each other. So if one artillery gets traded out, then the other artillery will shell the medium tank. So nicely done there. Just imagine if there was like a copter in this area from blue. Then you have to build an anti-air. You can't do this double artillery thing. Of course, there wouldn't be a medium tank either, but I think copters are underrated by blue. I think blue needs to be using some copters a bit more. Now this this tank right here, would be hanging if blue got a power. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it would be hanging if blue got a power, but then yeah, red couldn't really cover it. So we'll see if blue gets power and decides to hit that tank. But it is on the city, which is good for red. This we're gonna take a city shot there and take out that 2 HP infantry, and everything else just gonna shuffle around. Now this tank is going to put pressure over here on this triple artillery setup. Oh, and this medium tank just ended its turn in range of an artillery on a road. Not very good there. You got to be careful with these medium tanks. Now, even though this artillery could get traded by this tank, you're giving up a massive medium tank shot right there. And I think blue needs some micro. Red's doing pretty good on the micro, which is I think really too aggressive in the opening, and tried to get these cities, which ended up backfiring because that tank build, like I said, and then did a good job of eventually winning this city, but it was at the cost of like delaying some other captures, which meant blue had an income lead for basically the entire opening, and blue could have had probably some smarter buys to punish that. But I could be wrong about that, so let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. Yeah, there's that shot right there, knocking that medium tank down to 4, and that infantry does get taken out. Red is amassing a nice little force here, protecting the lab. And might just see these two armies just stare at each other. And these units are all going over to the left to surround blue's corner area, which has now been severely weakened. Medium tank also gets trapped by these 3 infantry diagonal here. We'll see if these artilleries move. Oh, walling for the copter, I guess. You don't really need to. This anti-air is right here. Okay, so... Oh, now this medium tank, even better. Nice find by red. This medium tank is completely trapped in, and there's really nothing blue can do about it. Can maybe, like, take a shot. Yeah, even if you clear this artillery, this medium tank still can't get out. So, great find by red there. That medium tank is going to be a goner. Also, this city's going to get flipped, and which means red is now going to have the income lead. And if some of these lower HP vehicles are going to go get repaired as blue sets up for possibly an attack. Medium tank's going to try and just take as much material down with it as possible. So fair enough right there. Now back to red. Goes in on the medium tank. 9-7. Good shot. The copter is going to get traded unless red can surround it with tanks. Blue now has the power online. And the tanks will be... Okay, not surrounding the copter, so anti-air will be able to trade this out, no problem. But the tanks will be able to trade that anti-air out as well. And there goes that medium tank. And the copter over here has just made a journey over here to the left. There's no counter copter or anti-air from blue on this side. And blue is facing a ton of pressure as red is just slamming infantry right into base range. But red has so much presence right here, it almost doesn't even matter as all these infantry move up. And blue's surrounded over here on the bottom left. These infantry regroup away from these deadly vehicles right here. And blue's got to make something happen. Red is up 1 city now. Blue's about to get that. Blue could make a play for this city, which I think is they should do. Maybe make a play on the comm tower, but there's the Neo. There it is. A couple turns later. But now blue is in some big trouble. Hey, finally see a copter. Blue had, let's see. Blue had 17k at the start of this turn. So definitely needs some counters. That Neo tank already has this artillery. And now we'll have a copter to counter this copter. I don't hate that copter build. There it is. There's that copter getting traded. Artillery now using the mountains as a nice barrier Also using the tank up here. So good move. Superpower almost online, and blue now prepares for a push. This is in mech superpower range though. Takes out a few of these infantry, and this anti-air is trying to move over here as well. And this anti-air is also in superpower mech range. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that anti-air, oh, it's next to a road too. So I think that anti-air could get one shot by this mech should red get superpower this turn. So we'll see how red deals with this. Making a play for this city, you got to do that. Even out the income. Red is ahead in value and ahead 9 units and is not backing down. Sacrifices to the anti-air to get that, just get a little more charge. Goes in for the tank, takes out the artillery. Hits the anti-air, one shot. Nicely done. Now this artillery points at this medium tank right here and is covering all this, not covering the silo, which the medium tank could attack from there, but still very good. And blue is in some big trouble now as the red now goes in on the left, almost has enough for the superpower, needs about 2k more. Goes in on some more infantry, gets an interrupt, sacrifices that infantry for charge, sacrifices that infantry for charge. There's the trail of woe. Now the copter is able to fly all the way down here and knock this copter down to a 1. Great find there by red. Great use of the power. Taking out that infantry on the woods. There it is. The mech takes out the anti-air. The Neo moves up to counter this medium tank. So now the medium tank cannot go on the silo. It has no safe squares. And red is steamrolling. Mechs also take out the artillery. I don't think this base is going to get clear, but these artillery can point at it and lock it down. Infantry goes bye-bye. Now, yep, the artillery come in and lock down the base. This artillery... Okay, so I see. This artillery moved here to prevent the infantry from going this way. But and maybe protect the mechs for another turn, but it seems like you could just put the artillery right here and kind of achieve the same thing, because it still covers the mechs. Although the tank could go around here and shoot, but not if you move this infantry to block. I think this artillery right here seems a little too presumptuous, but I think red is rolling over here anyway. The infantry can, it's not really a base lock. The infantry can just go right here. For example, like try to maybe go... I don't know. It could just get off the base and something else could be built. But then you got 2 artilleries pointed right at it. Now, a jet fighter here might be not a bad solution. Ooh, going after the lab as well. Not really a big threat for blue, though, as this lab is still very safe. A jet fighter... I think a jet fighter wouldn't work. It is safe from the copter trying to lock down the airport, and it is safe from the artillery. But... I think blue is just in a lot of trouble down here on the left. So great job by red to get that superpower. And red is now steamrolling double blue's unit count and value, but not if blue has anything to say about it. There's the trail of woe, and let's see what blue can do here. Infantry is going to take a good shot on the mech, knocking down to 4. The artillery and also the lab capping guy gets hit. Copter sacrifices itself for damage, might as well. Another copter comes out from blue. And more attacks go in as that infantry gets taken out. The 2 HP tank, and that tank gets a free shot right there, as this Neo tank, when super goes away, is not going to be able to trade any of those out. So maybe blue will be able to bring this down here and kind of pincer strike red a little bit. And this tank, hey, might as well take that shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Copter's not going to reach that once super expires, and this tank as well. So maybe red is red is surrounding this area, but if blue can come in from behind and kind of sandwich red's forces, and this whole army disappears, blue will be big chilling. But we'll see if that can happen. Of course, you got to watch out for these reinforcements coming from here. Bill's just a solitary infantry, so it is definitely going to get cleared out by the artillery. No questions asked. Let's see, had 24k like we said at the beginning. So yeah, I don't think a jet fighter would have worked. I just had to think about it for a second. I was just trying to go in the bag, trying to find any way for blue to win this. But now the infantry on the base gets cleared out by the artillery. Starts the base cap, not even going for this shot. And there it is. That infantry is able to take the shot, takes out the tank right there, surrounds the base, and now this base is it's not 100% safe, as this tank can hit this, the copter can hit that, but it's not going to take it out. So blue is in some big trouble over here on the left and doesn't really have that much counterplay, as now red is going to make a play on this lab. Going in, surrounding, actually interrupted the lab capture. Because this tank interrupted it, so that 4 HP was not going to stay on the lab and keep capping. Now red is going to get this city, and this these infantry getting closer to the lab as well. Blue is in some big trouble, and red might actually shift away up here and make a play for this corner as well. And blue is now big chilling with that unit count up, still almost double units. Blue goes in, takes out the copter, one shot, hits an artillery, but this is, and starts the comm tower. This is pretty much over though, as blue can takes out the artillery, and that will take out this artillery. But with this base getting flipped next turn, it's going to be really hard for blue to actually reclaim this area. This copter is also going to come in and trade that copter as well. But we'll see. Maybe this counterattack from blue will get there in time. This is never going to go through. I mean, this is like King David, wanted to sleep with one of his soldiers' wives, and he just like he told the commander to send the soldier in, and then when the soldier on the front lines, when he started fighting, everyone else just retreated and left him to die. That's what's going to happen to this. This is never going through in a million years. That is desperation. These tanks over here as well is well within base range, but at least blue is trying to go for some counterplay right here, right? You got to do something. Got to make something happen. Anti-air from here as well. And there's a copter from here. I don't know if the anti-air from here is really necessary. Maybe could save that money for a tank or something up here, but red is just doing great. Flips the base, flips the city down there, and will probably block this base as well. Yes, takes out that 4, and the tank goes on the base. Neo tank shoots the copter, knocking it down 3 HP. It will get repaired 2 HP next turn, but that is draining funds from blue. And the copter is actually surrounded now. And now this city's going to get started. So red is doing fantastic. Going to hit the pipe seam as well. Maybe unlock this artillery. I've never seen this artillery get unlocked before. So that'd be pretty cool if that happens. Yeah, starts the airport. Uses some infantry to pick off the copter. Starts these two. And takes it out. Red's got the power, but doesn't really need to do anything with it. And, yep, there's that infantry going down. No questions asked. Infantry will get interrupted there by this tank. And okay, not going in on these tanks at all, but now builds the Neo, which counters all of these small tanks. So these small tanks can maybe go over here and like help out. The anti-air can come in and hit this area. But blue just does not have the unit presence, does not have any sort of counterplay, losing both corners, and resigns. So a very interesting game indeed. And let's see if our friend the stats graphs will work. His income. Blue had a very steady income advantage for the majority of the game and was unable to fully take advantage of it. By not building a copter up here, instead building that medium tank, and maybe doing some other builds that were a little suboptimal, and by going for some losing fights right here, like this city right here where the 3 infantry were right here, that was just not going to happen, especially if red could get super, which, you got to always consider that. And all those units for blue got cleaned up, lost every unit down here pretty much, and red did a great job finding some good tactics, taking out some units, and yeah, a solid game, very instructive, I feel like. So yeah, if I got anything wrong, you disagree, just pop it in the comments, because I could be wrong. I'm trying to get better at evaluating positions, but it is like my biggest weakness is I can't like hardly look at a position and tell if it's winning. Obviously this position, I'm not, a total moron. I can see that red's winning this, but like, if we kind of get to like a more neutral position where someone might be only slightly ahead, that's where I have trouble. And like, at the beginning we had this fight down here. I didn't know if that was a good idea for red and blue to keep fighting in that. because blue could have easily just decided to not really worry about that city, build a tank to always cover it. Red could never get it. And then that did stall out these two cities for red for a couple turns, which would allow blue to have an income advantage in the opening, which, you know, if it's like 3K or 4K, that could be the difference between another vehicle. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget about the Google form if you want to be on the live stream, and I will see you in the next one.